Call the meeting to order. City of Somerton work session, 6:07 p.m. We're gonna forego all formalities and go to roll call and then go to new business.
Mayor Jerry Anaya.
Present.
Vice Mayor Martha Garcia.
Present.
Councilman Miguel Villalpando.
Councilmember Villalpando said he's just getting off of work, so he might not.
Councilman Carlos Gonzalez.
Not working, Mr. Gonzalez.
Councilman Luis Galindo.
Present.
Councilman Jesus Roldan.
Present.
Councilman Juan Castillo.
Present. Mr. Mayor, you have a question?
Thank you. Moving to item number 1.
Mr. Mayor, members of the council, the purpose of this work session is to review different plans related to city employee health care coverage. We're joined by Human Resources, Specialist, thank you, sir, Armando Leon, who's going to be presenting some different things on behalf of the city's health care health insurance committee. And I just want to know, Armando is under the weather, but he's tough and he's here to perform his duties up above and beyond. So thank you, sir, and the floor is yours.
Good evening, Mayor and Vice Mayor and council members. So recently, last week, we had a meeting with the Health Insurance Committee along with Mr. Michael Page, our broker that's been working on different plans to help us move to the next phase of our healthcare plans if we decide to move in a different direction. Before we get started, I'm going to give you a sort of a timeline of what we're looking at. So our current plan with EMI will take us to June the 30th of this year. And then by July 1st, we will begin either a new plan or have a continuation of EMI. On the spreadsheet, under the HIC plan review, we're projecting to be reviewing plans pretty much throughout February, March, and April. We currently have a work session today on February the 4th, and we're looking at 2 plans today, which is the Blue Cross Blue Shield of Arizona Balance Funding and Transwestern Mexico plan. I've yet to get a formal plan submitted by Summit and CR Med. They did send me an email a few weeks ago where they basically Ms. Michelle McGowan indicated that they received 2 quotes back so far and they were not competitive, that it would be a 214% increase to current rates. So she's looking at still another carrier to consider, but the first 2 quotes were 214% above what we're currently paying, so they were not viable plans. Michelle McGowan did reach out to me and I sent her an updated claims plan for the current month, and so she's taking that information, and I think she has 1 more carrier that she will be approaching, so hopefully they come back with a viable plan, but so far that hasn't panned out. And the partnership between CR Med and Summit was essentially sort of in competition with our current broker, Michael Page. So they're working independently, reaching out to their own contacts, reaching out to their own vendors, and so they're coming up with their own plans, but so far, this is all I've gotten from them. I don't have any formal plans to present, so that's where that stands. Michael Page met with him. We met with him on Thursday of last week, and he's in the spreadsheet. If you look at the plans under consideration, the plans are currently being considered under him as a broker, the Blue Cross Blue Shield of Arizona Balance Funding, United Health, Aetna. Aetna's also put in a proposal, Humana, Cigna, Western Growers self-funded plan, and also EMI. I put EMI in here because we've been working with them for probably, I think, 6 or 7 years. So they're going to have an opportunity to also submit a plan for us to consider. And also Transwestern Mexico plan and Transwestern and American plan. Any questions on that? So we're probably looking at getting finalized plans by the end of April, having contracts signed the early part of May, and then open enrollment towards the end of May, and then the month of June will basically just be getting paperwork submitted and so forth, and then be ready to go by July the 1st. Yes.
I'm looking, and I was just gonna ask, right now when you said Summit and Seattle, we're not moving them together, right? Because we could have the option of just saying hypothetically speaking, if Blue Cross Blue Shield gives us a better quote, we can get Blue Cross Blue Shield, and we don't have to get Summit for the U.S. insurance. We could go ahead and just get Seattle, right? The way it would be independent. They don't go hand in hand, right?
My understanding, because I posed that question to CRMed, and so far they haven't been willing to come forward with their own independent plan. Their plans have been completely tied to CRMed, but it's not out of the question that they could not propose something independently. But we would need to see how that plan would work along with whatever American plan we have. Because who would be the administrator in that circumstances? We need to define that. Under the Transwestern plan, we're not the administrators. They have their own independent administrator for that plan. So in some self-funded plans, the organization has to have an administrator administering that plan. Under the current proposals, Blue Cross Blue Shield, they have their own administrator. So we would basically just be paying a premium. They would manage it and have their own administrators. So if CRMet comes forward with a plan that they're administrating the plan and they can work with whomever we decide to go with on the American side, yeah, I don't see why not. Yeah, it's not out of the question, but they haven't come forward with a plan.
And just hypothetically speaking, if it's a plan that that we might be able to save enough, we'd be able to look at that, right?
Well, the whole point is that we get a good plan for employees, but that also saves money for the city. Whichever plan that is. Right now we have two brokers basically competing against each other, and within the brokers there's multiple vendors that will be submitting proposals for us to consider. In the end, the normal constraints that we've been facing will be, what the cost will be, how much of the cost will be transferred to the employees in the form of premiums and in the form of co-payments and co-insurance. So those are the variables that we'll need to balance out as we decide on which plan to move forward with. But overall, certainly the idea is to get a lower cost.
Yeah, because I'm thinking of a scenario where you just have the brokers are in competition with one another, where if it's in the best interest of the city to have Blue Cross, hypothetically speaking, Blue Cross Blue Shield, and then CRMet, they're I don't see why.
Well, CRMet's they're not out of the picture. I mean, they can still submit whatever plan they want.
Maybe we could combine both of them and see what turns.
Like combined, who,
Well, CI Med is only the Mexican insurance.
right, correct, uh-huh,
Right.
yeah,
But we need to make sure that we also have a US.
correct, that's correct.
So, I mean, it could be Transwestern, or it could be CI Med, or it could be any other.
Potentially, yes,
Potential.
yeah, potentially, yes. I think my understanding from CR Med and Summit is that they've been working together for a while. They have history working together, so they understand each other's business models. So that's the way, why they're able to combine the two businesses and offer a product in combination. So I'm not sure that necessarily that same synergy could be achieved if CR Med partnered with somebody else. They would have to work on that relationship as well, creating that relationship that they have with Summit. So it's not as easy as just saying, okay, you two work together and provide a combined plan. I don't think it's quite that easy. There's going to have to be some administrative synergy there.
Do you think they'd be willing?
I think they're willing. I think they're willing. Yeah, I think they're willing, sure. Yeah, they're willing. It's just a matter of can we make it work, or can they make it work?
I know that we learned on it, not a lot of doctors will take that insurance, and we look into which doctors take that insurance, like Blue Cross Blue Shield, I know almost everybody,
Mm-hmm.
the provider.
Correct.
Because it'll be, if we get someone that doesn't take their insurance, then they have to go out of town or it's out of network. We look into that, what are the providers here in Lima that are, which insurance are the ones that, I know Blue Cross Blue Shield, but the hospital.
Right. Well, my understanding is whichever vendor we select, they're going to be part of a network. So it depends on what the network is. So with Blue Cross Blue Shield, we have some experience now because we've been using it for the last several months. So there's a network of doctors and primary providers and specialists and so forth within this region that seems to be working pretty well. I haven't heard really much negative as far as not finding the right doctors and so forth. Previous to that, the previous network that we had was the Arizona Foundation, and the Arizona Foundation network seems to work fairly well in this particular region. Again, some networks are very strong in certain regions, but not as strong somewhere else. For us here in this region, seems like the Arizona Foundation is a good network, and the Blue Cross Blue Shield network appears to be a good network. So if we can keep that network, that would be best for our employees. Either Blue Cross Blue Shield or right now, I think Blue Cross Blue Shield probably is the better network for our employees in this particular region. Yeah.
Because Arizona Foundation, it's
Not that good anymore.
providers, because we used to have an Arizona Foundation like we were. And I know the difficult of getting, those doctors to get some insurance.
Correct. So the key to that is really selecting the provider that's going to be associated with the right network.
So are the employees happy with Blue Cross Blue Shield, or what, the pay, the difference, or what?
Well, based on last year, the co-payments, the medical deductible, annual deductible went up significantly from what it used to be. But given that the Blue Cross Blue Shield network seems to be very viable in this region, and I think I really haven't heard any negative. I don't know if Ian or anybody else, but I haven't had any employee approach me and say, this is not a good network, or I can't find a doctor that I need. So based on that, I haven't surveyed the employees, but I think it seems to be working okay. Yes, Mr.
No,
Rodan.
I think, with also with the county, Blue Cross Blue Shield is one of the biggest from here. Any provider you go with, most of them, it's on the network. So basically, anything out here, or most of the doctors are in network, so nothing out of pocket will be out. And that's probably what we're looking at on our employees. We go to a doctor, make sure, or the hospital, sometimes, hospitals out of network, or whatever, I think we need to be careful when choosing a provider that,
Correct.
is the best for us.
And that's been our whole objective, is that it's one objective is certainly to save money, save the city money, and there could be different ways to do that. But the other objective is also, if we're going to be spending our money on medical care, then then we need to be able to provide the best possible medical care for our employees. And so I think this particular network right now that we're currently under seems to be working fairly well, and I've heard positive things pretty much from the community. So I think most everybody has had good experience with them. The latest cost report, I know the cost has been a big issue. The last 12 months, the last 12-month average, we're projected at about 1.3 million is our annual cost for a 12-month rolling average. And the cost, the last, since August, had been declining. In July, we had a monthly deposit of 126,000, but then the next month, in August, when we made the change, the change to the new plan, new year, it dropped down to 92,000, and then 90,000, and then in October was 89,000 a month, and then November 92,000. So the change into the plan that we did a few months back has had the right effect. The cost to the city has been dropping, and it's been steady pretty much for the last probably 6 months, 5 or 6 months. So it's a good trend. It's a lower cost. The claims have also dropped, so that's helped us also to get better rates from our providers. So I think we're heading in the right direction as far as our costs go, but still, we still want to make sure that we're moving forward and doing our due diligence and getting additional cost savings. So I'm going to hand out 3 plans. This is the American Blue Cross Blue Shield of Arizona. It's a self-funded plan. Now, I don't claim to be a compensation expert. I got a crash course by Mr. Page earlier today, and might stumble through some of the information, but I'll do my best. So if you open up the blue folder, the blue folder has some of the key information that we need to know about a balanced funded healthcare plan, and then this yellow folder will actually have the PPO plan and with the breakdown of what the costs are, the deductibles and so forth. But first, let's go to the blue folder. And if you open up, there's a balanced funding health plan product. We're just going to look at the first page. So balanced funding is a self-funding solution for employers with 15 or more enrolled employees. Balanced funding provides employers with financial predictability and control over monthly healthcare costs. With balanced funding, employers pay a fixed monthly amount that includes the cost of administrative services, stop-loss insurance, and all claims coverage. Balanced funding may be a great option for employers whose employees are engaged in their healthcare and use their plan in a cost-efficient and effective manner. Now, as I understand it, with this particular